I said I'd be back, so I'm back. And today we are tapping on feeling lonely, feeling isolated, feeling like the world is out there having their own experience and you're inside alone for whatever reason. Just wanted to first honor the fact that even feeling alone, feeling isolated, feeling like you don't have community or connections, even feeling that way is a stressor on the body. Yet, we do not need to pretend that we feel other than we do. So if we can acknowledge where we are at and start to move forward and relate to our loneliness and our isolation differently, that's where I see the freedom and the ease enter the situation, because we craft these stories about how we think our lives should look, how we wish they would look, how we think someone else is spending their time, and how we think it's better than the way we might be experiencing our life. But I would argue that when we come back to fully being in our experience and choosing not to miss a second of it, all of a sudden we realize that the fantasies in our mind are the only thing keeping us from being where we are. So if this resonates, if this idea resonates, awesome. If it doesn't, feel free to try the sequence anyways, just to see what you notice, because sometimes it's a matter of expanding our perspective, shifting our perspective, changing the way we relate to our current perspective to then make room to build a new one. So I'll try to keep this one shorter and sweeter. And if you're new to tapping and you probably can't see, the point down here is kind of, I'd say, right on the bra line. If you don't wear bras, it's like 5 inches below the armpit. And you should feel some resonance right on the rib. But just follow along, repeat after me. If you'd rather lay down with your eyes closed and just listen, that can be effective too, although the actual tapping points were found to be an active ingredient in the efficacy of tapping. So just a thought. You could always redo it. Listen one time, tap another time, go back and forth. Okay. Repeating after me when you're ready. Even though I've been feeling very alone, I'm learning to love and accept myself exactly as I am. And even though this isolation brings up feelings of sadness, I'm choosing to use this bizarre time as an opportunity. And even though my brain tells me that I'll be happier if I had friends, if I had community right now, I'm choosing to learn to be my own best friend. I'm choosing to use this experience to help me grow. And then moving to that first eyebrow point. All of these feelings, feeling cut out from the world, feeling like everyone else is having a much easier time than I am, feeling so removed from reality, and really missing being around people. I miss the days when socialization was just normal. I miss being able to see people without the fears and the rules and the regulations. Sometimes I miss being out and about. Didn't realize how good I had it until things changed. And it can feel so paralyzing to feel this lonely, to feel like I'm doing this life thing alone. Noticing how my brain continues to think, if only things were different, then I'd be happy. If only my life looked different, then I'd be happy. Maybe if I were different, then I'd be happy. And I honor that there are so many layers to this. This feeling, noticing what it feels like to be lonely. Noticing the images that come up when I think about being alone. Not being around people in the same way. Noticing what that feels like in my body. What it reminds me of. Thinking of all the times I've felt left out. Left out of the big club. And how I've judged myself. Maybe even thinking it's my fault I'm not part of the bigger club. And I notice those spirals and those stories are exhausting in and of themselves. I get exhausted with my brain, with feeling this low. I don't really like feeling this way. But if I'm gonna feel this way anyways, if things are the way they are, what if I saw this experience as a time to help me? Because I forgot. While feeling isolated and separate, I forgot that I still have me. I forgot that I can be my own best friend for now and forever. So all of these feelings that have been weighing me down, I choose to let them be my teachers. I choose to let these feelings, these undesirable feelings, serve as little signals for me. So that every time I feel alone or separate, that's my signal to question. Is that really true? I still have me. And my brain might still be thinking, well, I need real friends. I need friends that aren't on Instagram or friends in person. And that's okay. That's a valid thought. But what if I take this time to master the art of learning to love and accept myself as if I were my own best friend? Who would I be if I weren't seeking something better? If I weren't waiting for my life to look differently? If I treated myself like I loved myself? What would that do for me? If I don't have to wait to feel satisfied and to be acknowledged, if I get to do that for myself, how would I start treating myself differently? What would it feel like to speak to myself so sweetly? What would it feel like to cheer myself on even when I don't feel the way I want to feel? What would it feel like to know that no matter where I go, I have me? No matter what has happened in the past, I can be the most reliable person for myself to be around. And just noticing how enlivening this feels when I realize I get to be the one that I've been waiting for. And maybe eventually I'll get to be that person for someone else. But right now, I get to be that person for me, offering myself more love than I ever have before, offering myself more joy and comfort and support than I ever have before. As I remember, this life is short. And I don't want to miss a second of my life waiting for things to be different. I'm choosing to live my life as it is, so I can be that person that people actually want to be around. Noticing that I get to do this. This is completely within my power. So starting now, as I tap my chest, I get excited. I get excited to be lonely. I'm willing to be lonely because it is my teacher. This experience is showing me that loneliness is a choice, that I'm never alone when I have myself. And I let that sink in fully. I let that integrate fully and get curious about where this might take me. Squeeze your wrists and take a deep breath in and hold at the top. Slowly exhaling through the nose as you release that grip. Shake it out. Shake it out if that feels good. And then settle. Just noticing any sensations, noticing maybe your thoughts have slowed down. And noticing what happens when you maybe challenge or question the stories that you think most often. What if this experience is an invitation to fully befriend yourself in a way you haven't before? What if this bizarre time in history is your chance to be the person that you would like to be around? Let's see. There's no right or wrong conclusion to draw from this. It's just an opportunity to shift your perspective, challenge your current perspective, grow a new perspective, and notice that it feels good to think about ourselves in ways that are kinder and more generous. So if that's available, why not? Why not play around with it? All right, I'll leave it at that for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will share some links below if you want to learn more about tapping. I also offer a tapping community and membership at tappingwitht.com, where I update weekly videos based off of community requests. And it's just a fun place to, again, realize that you're not alone, because so many other people are likely thinking the exact same thoughts as you. And we just get so narrow focused that we forget that we are in this together, that we are allowed to feel the way we feel, and we are allowed to keep growing and changing and reaching out for support. And if you don't have someone you can reach out to for support, my my request is that you be that person so that someone feels safe enough to reach out to you. And that starts with you. It really does. So anyways, I said I'd end this video. Now I'll end this video. Hope you enjoyed. Happy New Year, everybody. And reach out at any point. I genuinely love hearing from you. Okay. Ta-ta. Ta-ta.
Some scrub J's. We've got some planks, some learning, got some videos, some slippers.